So I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can do a blog style for today. I'm not gonna do a bunch of editing. That is not me. If you know me, I do not do stuff like that because I just don't. I am not a computer person. 12 by 10 by 8 box, 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Yep. You can't read that stuff back there. This room is crazy. Anyways, so I have an autistic son, if you don't know this already, and we struggle, and I don't think a lot of people understand autism or how much we struggle. Right now we're in a regression, and there's like not a lot of help for autistic families. Like, I've seen a lot of parents that have to take shifts in their sleep schedule. Like, one parent won't sleep all night and then another parent won't sleep all night, and like they take shifts like that. So we've actually been pretty blessed with not having to do that. When Connor was all the way up to 2 years old though, I was sleeping in the living room on the floor, and we would just watch Lion King every night. I'm gonna print this label so that he can take this with him. Yep, print. Oh, that's probably really loud. Listen, this is the life. Scissors. Okay. My life is chaos. I was very much a type A person, and like, if you knew me as a nurse, I would say that I was not nice to work with. I wanted everything perfection, and like by the book kind of person. I didn't like change. I still don't like change, but like Connor, if that's one thing being an autism mommy, I cannot be that person anymore. It's totally shifted my identity, because I would literally be in a hole. I would be in a hole. Anyways, Connor is regressed in his sleep patterns. And where should I put this? Don't look at her address. Right here. I think that's a good spot. And so he has been getting up anywhere from 2 a.m. to the latest he's sleeping in right now is 5. So I'm not sleeping well. He's not sleeping well. Troy's not sleeping well. Nobody's sleeping well in the house. Yeah, so you can give him melatonin or whatnot. I don't think that works very well for him. We do it. I wish we didn't have to. There's a lot of things as like an autism mom that you're like, I wish I wouldn't have to do these things, but I have to survive. Like, I will try anything. Like, you'll try anything to get your kid to sleep. So right now, he actually does have a cold or some sort of virus. I think I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want people getting into that. But normally you can send your kids to school, right? And because they want your kids, they want them sick. They don't excuse the absences or whatnot. So you're like, you send your kids to school. Well, when you have an autistic child, they don't want your child there when they're sick. Then they're not trying to be rude either. But your child's going to be more like unconsolable. They're not going to get really much out of it. out of being in school and doing the therapies anyways, because they're focused on like their sore throat or needing more drinks or whatnot. And he's got like a rash on his face, and now it's on his little arm. So he's not sleeping because of that. I am giving him Benadryl and some cough medicine. He doesn't really have a cough, but you don't get to send your kid to school. So if you're an autism parent and both parents work, like, what do you do? Thank God I'm able to stay at home, and that Troy's able to have FMLA through his work, because if I'm doing something business-wise through my job, like I have an appointment or clients and stuff, and I can't go get Connor, like Troy's job does have FMLA and they can't do anything about it, and he has to go get Connor. So that has been really nice. But like, they're constantly missing school. Like, if he doesn't get a ton of sleep, I don't send him to school, because he's not gonna have a good day, and he already has a lot of issues that are going against him anyways. That is him being crazy in there. He's happy to be home, but he doesn't feel good at the same time. I don't know. So we're not sleeping right now. That's something that sucks. Like, you can't just he doesn't get up and then you can put him to bed as an autistic parent. Like, he gets up and he's up. That's it. He gets up at 2 a.m. You're up at 2 a.m. You are lucky if you can get them to fall back asleep, but you probably can't. And then they're asking for all these things, and your brain is like so tired, but you have to provide those things for them. And when I say he's asking, he's we kind of label him as nonverbal, but he does like 1 to 2 words. Maybe sometimes he'll parrot some sentences, but a lot of it's just laughing and fun. But I don't know. That is the start of my day. We got up at 5 a.m. He's not going to school because he can't go to school, because when they're sick and autistic, they can't go to school. So, like, that is my first struggle of the day. I would say my second struggle all day. I don't know. You guys don't even... It's so hard to explain, like, living with an autistic child, because I'm surviving. Every day I'm surviving, and every day is a struggle, and every day you're trying to protect them. Like, you can leave your kids unattended for some time, right? Playing in their room, they're fine or whatnot. I have to check my child every 15 minutes. It's like a nursing rotation, a safety issue. Like, I have to go check him, make sure he doesn't have something in his mouth. I have to offer food every time I go do that. He's in food therapy and he doesn't eat well. And so I have to constantly just be offering, does Connor want this or does Connor want that? Yes or no? Yes or no? And then sometimes you'll get him to answer yes or no, but so getting him to eat and drink is going to be my main focus. And like, I'm going to be constantly checking on him every 15 minutes on top of whatever else I'm doing. And I don't feel great, and I'm not quite sure if it's because they've been waking me up. I mean, he's been waking up so early the last week. Or yeah, I don't think he got me sick. Let's hope. There ain't no sick days here. This is gonna be his 3rd day home. So another thing with having him home, it's not like I can just go about my business and just do what I would normally do by myself. Like, I have to make sure I don't have any clients scheduled, or if I do, that I have coverage. Connor is one-on-one. So what does that mean? Like, if he has to be watched you have to check on him constantly. So I can't just I'm not a makeup person, so don't listen. I have to have somebody watch him, like, and they can't have a ton of other kids, and they have to, if they do, they have to be older kids, because he's like a baby. He's gonna need one-on-one care. He might even be more difficult because he's bigger, he's 8, and he's gonna get into things or whatnot, or he's gonna have meltdowns if you don't know what he wants, or so it's just easier if he's staying home, that I just don't have clients, and that I just cancel everything for the rest of the day, because no, it's just easier for me as an autism mom not to have people help. Like, as much as it would be great if you help, like, you're not gonna know his needs like I'm gonna know his needs, and it's just gonna stress him out more, and I would just rather not do that. I thought it was gonna come in here. I probably won't show him because there's weird people out there. But he's adorable. He's adorable. He's a sweet soul. Okay, what's another thing? Oh, okay. So on top of that, no. Bye-bye. I just said I wasn't going to show you. He's like, watch me, Mom. Watch me. Okay, so if you have stuff to do with your autistic child, you have to, like, say I have errands and stuff I need to run, like I've got that package and stuff. If I wanted to go to the store and grocery shopping, I would honestly just cancel things, because, can you turn it down? Turn it down. Ouch, my ears. Thank you. He would get overwhelmed and overstimulated if I did it. All of the things that I needed to do. So we will just be home for most of the day. I don't think I'm gonna do anything. Dad's gonna take the package for me so I don't have to leave the house, and I'll just be here with him. I'll probably do some work for my business on top of constantly checking in on him. What are you watching? What are you watching? Pause it. What are you watching?
A Donald Duck.
Oh, Donald Duck. Don't be too much in the camera, sir. We don't wear pants in this house, okay? And if you're not okay with that, then that's fine. Oh my goodness.
Hi.
Can you go on Mama's bed? You're so sweet. Go sit on Mama's bed. So we're not gonna do much. Another thing I want to do is clean his room, so maybe I'll show you guys what that looks like. But like, as an autism mama, nothing stays clean. There's piles all over my house. The piles are incredibly crazy because he doesn't clean up after himself, and I can't get mad at him for not cleaning. Are you being sweet? Can you go sit down? Can you say hi? Can you say hi, Mama? He's stimming on the show. Okay, what was I thinking? I don't think I'm gonna put much eye stuff on. I'm not going anywhere. I was gonna look in there, but now I'm not. That's good enough. Like, I'm just gonna have to be done. Okay. Are we gonna clean your room? Are we gonna clean your room? And then, like, you're constantly worried about what people are gonna think when your child is dimming. Like, if you judge him, you're a horrible person. I'll just, that's good enough, guys. Good enough. Hair's chaos. Oh, look, there's a ponytail on the floor. So I'm gonna try to clean his room, and like, if you can't find one of your autistic child's toys, you're screwed, because they will just ask and 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 ask until you find that toy. Like, it's not like you can be like, oh, you didn't clean your room, so sorry. No, if you want to hear about it all stinking day, you're gonna hear about it all stinking day. So you have got to keep their piles together. So yeah, we're ready, I guess, for the day. We are done with his room, and now I'm going to do some posting on my business page. He's not very hungry, so he did like that his room is clean. I would love to say that I could clean his room once a day, or that his room didn't always look like that, but his room always looks like that because he literally destroys it in one day, and then he doesn't clean it, and you can't really force him to clean it because it's very upsetting for him. So I used to try to clean it every day, and it was very overwhelming for me. So now I just clean it once a week, sometimes even every other week, because honestly, after cleaning it, it'll look like that again within another day. Like, he gets so in his head about seeing all the toys and then lining them all up, and then you say, my husband's always like, why do you buy him all those toys then? Like, because then you have to clean it all up. And I'm like, because he wants it. And because of his autism, like, if you get him a gift and it's one character out of a character set, you totally screw me over. Because if you give him an Elmo, he wants to see the whole line of the Sesame Street characters lined up. So I usually don't buy him one character. It has to be a complete set. Otherwise, I don't buy a character because he will get very upset with me. And then he's happy his room's clean though, and I just looked at him. His rash is horrible. Another thing that's really hard about having an autistic kid that doesn't really talk to you or tell you what's wrong, I feel like they have such a high pain tolerance that, like, he just gets a little bit more mad or restless or whatnot, but like, you can't ask him, does your belly hurt? Does your throat hurt? Is it ouchy? Like, I try to like make it as simple as possible, and I don't get much. I did ask him if I could put lotion on his skin, some calamine lotion for the rash, because it's a viral rash. And he did let me put it on there, and I was asking, does it feel good? Yes or no? Does it feel good? And he was just smiling, so I assumed that it feels better to have the lotion on there. I don't know. Crazy days. It's a crazy day. But that's something that always scares me. Like, what happens if my kid gets appendicitis, or like, I don't know, breaks a bone or something, and they're just doing the crying, like they cry over toys and like being overstimulated and stuff. What if I miss a sign? What if he swallows a battery? Like, that's a lot of things that, like, we have to keep stuff locked up. So you kind of go to the extreme of locking things up or putting things up, especially when they put stuff in their mouth. So like batteries is definitely something we always keep up. I really hate things that have the button batteries. So those, we don't buy stuff with button batteries. He's gotten a lot better about chewing on things so he can leave other things down. I would say the utensils and the knives and stuff, he's never really had a problem with that. But if he has picked up one before and walked over to me because he and just holding it, and if I had yelled at him or told him to put it down, he wouldn't have put it down. So he would not have understand that anything was wrong because he's literally just holding to him something not scary. So like his ability to recognize danger is like nothing, and he's an eloping risk, so like he would run away very easily, and we've lost him multiple times. And we're very vocal with our neighbors about Connor's autism, and if you see him, and anytime we meet a new neighbor, that's like one of the first things we say, he's autistic. If you ever seen him roaming around, he's not supposed to be out. Yeah, we just have to be very vocal with that. We have like chimes on each door and window, and so that will kind of give us an extra ding. And then we have locks on all of the doors, like the doorknob locking thing, so you have to squeeze the two pressure points and then turn to be able to get out of the house. So I think that that's helpful. Plus you're constantly checking on him every 15 minutes. So, and we've still lost him. Like if he's outside on the swing set, we have to be very careful because our neighbors have goats, and he'll just walk over and see the goats. And my neighbor, she was like, we can put a gate there if you'd like. And I said, he'll just find another way, and then he'll get upset that he had to find another way, and maybe he'd go a different direction. So I'd rather you didn't put a gate. And she was like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know, some of my little thoughts and worries. Another thing about like when they're sick, I have to cancel all the therapies for the day. So he does ABA therapy, and I know that gets like a really bad rap. I don't even know. ABA therapy, I don't even know. Like he has ABA therapy empowers children on the autism spectrum with evidence-based treatment, applied behavioral analysis therapy, providing tangible benefits. We go through Access Point. There's a couple places here in Pocatello that does some therapy. We do speech and occupational therapy through STS, and we love them. So that's once a week. So we pull them out early on a Tuesday, and we go there once a week, and he gets 30 minutes with his occupational therapist and 30 minutes with his speech therapist. And then he has the ABA therapy, and you can request that it's in home, or you can have it be outside of the home. So right now we have kind of both. So usually Mondays and Fridays he goes outside of the home, and then on the other 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he usually stays in the home. And they work on a lot of behaviors, repetition, making sure that I think watching your kid go through therapy is very traumatizing. So if you're wanting to be, you kind of have to detach from your child, because in order for an autistic child to learn, they have to be triggered. What, puppy? Come here. What do you need? Do you need help? Does Connor need help? need help? And a lot of people say, oh, learn sign language, that will help. Like with my autistic child, heck no. Don't you dare come at him with some sign language. Like, he hates that stuff. He would get so frustrated that he would say a word. Like, he would try to communicate more verbally, because he did not like the fact that I was like using hands. I don't know, something about it was like not clicking for him. But anyways, you have to kind of detach and let them be triggered. So a lot of the times they have to finish a task, like finish a puzzle or finish doing some form of therapy before they get like a bribery, something like a toy they really want to play with or a game they really want to do with their therapist. So it's very hard to watch. I think for the first year Connor was in therapy, I cried every day, because it honestly was like watching him being tortured. And because he couldn't even do the simplest of things, just sitting in the chair at the desk with the occupational therapy was so hard for him. It was just really, really hard. Disassociate a little bit. But I made a deal with Troy, because he went once and he was like, I can't do that. And I was like, I understand. I was like, but if I'm taking him to the therapies, then I want you to, like, I want to come home and I want to go in the room and I want to cry and I want to have like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be left alone for a little while. And so we did that for like a year, until like it seemed like he started making a little bit more headway and it wasn't as torturous. But it took a really, really long time for those it's only an hour long. It took a really long time for those not to be traumatizing. Another thing that's super traumatizing is the assessments that the school does. So Connor's had a couple different teachers so far, because the town that we're in, they've switched schools, and they got rid of a program, we got switched to a different program or whatnot. But we've always been very, very lucky and had really, really good teachers for Connor, and Connor's really done well in the classrooms. But like the assessments, you have to disassociate, and so a lot of, at the beginning of the year, it's the worst. If you know somebody who has a autistic child or a disabled child, like definitely the January, February months are horrendous for us, because we're upgrading their qualifications for schooling, for like, he has Katie Beckett Medicaid, so all of the things that you have to qualify for, his access needs rebooted, he has food therapy once a week as well, and that's torture. This is just very rambly, but his food therapy is interesting as well, because they work with textures and stuff, and Connor doesn't like foods. He only had 2 like foods that he would eat when we first started going, and it was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and hot Cheetos. And I was like just so concerned for his health and not being able to get him to try new foods, but he started to do so much better. He still hates a lot of things, but he eats pizzas and burgers and sometimes chicken nuggets and corn dogs and toasters. Like, she's worked so well with him that it's been nice. But anyways, back to what I was saying about the school stuff and the getting your child upgraded for the qualifications. Like, I don't even know why I feel like I need to whisper, because it's so freaking traumatizing. But the assessments, they ask the meanest stuff, and I understand that it's to get them qualified and whatnot, but like, I never really thought about Connor on a social, like you're just surviving with an autistic child. And to think about, like, one of the questions that has scarred me and still scars me to think about was, like, there was like a whole section about does Connor have friends, and do other children avoid him? And back when we were first starting the stuff, Troy's family, their children, a lot of the children did avoid Connor because he was loud. And he didn't have friends. But if life isn't hard enough, why not get these parents with disabled children and ask them questions like, do they have friends? Do people avoid them? Like, stuff like that is really cruel. And then, like, can they get themselves dressed? And it goes like on a scale, and they just pick. Can they put their socks on? Can they put their clothes on? Can they go to the bathroom by themselves? Can they wash their hands? Can they do it with guidance? Do they often do this? Do they often do that? Like, it's so much, and it's not just like one place that you're having to do that with. It's the school, it's the insurance, it's all of the therapists that you have them enrolled in, and like the packets are just so big and long, and it's all these questions about, do they often do this? Do they sometimes do this? Do they never do this? And a lot of the times when your kid gets to like 5 no's, they can't do something, then you skip down to the next section. So then you get to see this huge section where your kid doesn't do well and can't. It really puts in your face how disabled your child is or how behind they are. And so you have to try to detach yourself. And anytime I'm doing those papers now, I will give myself the affirmation, is Connor happy? And he's happy. And so that's honestly all that matters to me. Is he happy? Is he healthy? Does he have a good life? And he has all of those things. He has all of those things. So who am I to get caught up in the paperwork of things? It's just something I have to do as a parent with an autistic child. Anyways, I'm gonna do all my posts, and then we'll see what else I can worry about today as an autism mom, because that's all I do. I saw an article one time that said moms of autistic children have the anxiety and the PTSD of combat vets. And I already was tortured as a child growing up, so I already had PTSD, and like the amount of worry and stress and like fear that comes over you knowing that you are completely and totally in charge of a life. And he's growing. I mean, he's almost 8, and I have to keep him safe, and I have to keep people from judging him, and it's so difficult. If I were to say the worst group of people to judge my child in stores and when we're out and about, it would be women in their 50s to 60s are the worst, are the absolute worst. I would like to wear a hat that says F you, he has autism. That's how bad women in the grandmother age are to Connor. They just look at him like he's misbehaved. They do stuff like, oh, if he like screeches or screams or like has some sort of anxiety in a store or something. So I don't know, just be cautious when you're out and about, and be careful about judging children, even young adults, if they're having a moment. Like, we have enough to worry about, and just lead with kindness instead of gasping, and maybe like turn the other way or offer help. or be like, can I help with anything? Is there anything I can do? Like, just don't be mean. I got enough to worry about. I don't need judgment from other people. Anyways, I'm gonna post. We'll see what other thoughts I have today. Another thing, a lot of people like to say is, you're on the cupboard. Hold on there, dear friend. Is, you know how everyone's like, look, if your kid doesn't eat, just don't. If they will only eat one thing, you should not. If they don't eat it, just put it away and give it to them later, and like keep doing that. Connor would starve. Connor would starve. Kids that have disabilities they get to have whatever the heck they want. You want ice cream all week? I don't care. You want to eat 57 toasters in one day? Whatever you want to eat, I will do. And I'll do it over and over and over and over and over again. If I'm cooking dinner, I'll make him something different every time, and I always have to make sure that I'm stocked with his favorites, like, because you never know when they're gonna crave something too. So like, that's jerky. He hasn't had jerky in forever, but the last couple days he has been eating jerky nonstop. If I didn't have that jerky, you bet your butt I would have to go to a store and get some, because he would just say meat. He says meat over and over and over again, and he would not be satisfied until he got it. So yeah, we have to have the same stuff stocked in our house, food wise, and if you don't have it, somebody has to go get it. It's not a we'll go tomorrow kind of thing. It has to be done today, or otherwise he'll just fall apart. And if they want to eat the same food over and over, you have to. You want them to eat, you want them to get some form of calories. So a toaster has been what we've been eating for the last 2 weeks, and I just had to go get 4 more boxes. Okay, so this is another part that I have to have anxiety over. Anytime you turn on the stove or the oven, or any like appliance, like the air fryer, I don't know, what else you guys have? Fry Daddies, like my coffee machine. Like, anytime you turn any of those things on, you can't leave the kitchen until it's safe. Like, you're by the stove. You're automatically went over there to where I'm cooking eggs. I am cooking eggs, and I don't even get to go pee or leave this area, because within 1 second, he could be instantly in danger and touch the range. No matter how many times I say, it's hot over there, it's hot over there, it's hot over there, it's like they're attracted to the danger. So I will cook, and anytime I'm cooking or in the kitchen and I'm doing something, I cannot leave the kitchen. I have to stay in here until it's no longer hot. So that is another one of my stressors, that it just adds another layer onto the cooking experience. I have to stay in here. Cannot leave. Connor loves mirrors. Oh, whoa. He's so quick. I don't know if I'll add this one because you're in it. Oh, he's gonna run from the corner. Are you so quick? Can you tell him your name? What's your name?
It's Connor.
Connor? Connor what? Can you say Gregerson? You're so sweet. Tell him, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
You like pink. Your brother likes blue. What's your favorite animal?
No way.
A rhino. We like pigs though too. What's a pig say? What does a pig say?
Crazy.
She's crazy? Did you just say she's crazy? You're silly. Connor, are you happy? Yes or no? Are you happy?
Yes.
Or yes.
Oh, come on.
You're gonna make me burn my eggs. Oh, another thing that people like to judge is like tablet time or phone time. And I don't give a shit. Like, he always has like a phone or a tablet when he's home. If he's not doing therapies, it gives him the most peace. He's able to check out, he's able to imagine things, and that's also where he gets his wording. So one of the things that they say that Connor could possibly have is Gestalt's processing disorder. Yes, I am recording.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're in here again. And that is where they take sentences from like stories and movies and stuff, and then they use it for their language. You're so silly. You're so hot. So like, what is something that you'll say, Connor? Can I have that? What is something else you say? He likes that he lost a tooth.
Yeah.
Did you lose a tooth? That gave me anxiety as a mom. Like, I didn't know if it was something that would trigger him. And if it is something that would trigger him, I can't put the tooth back. So I was like, I'll be screwed. I'll be screwed if I can't put the tooth back. But Gestalts, they learn in sentences before they break down words. So he uses phrases and sentences from shows, and that's how he gets his language. And he feels the most at peace and at home with his technology. So unfortunately, that's just, if we have an iPad or a phone in the store, it's not because we want to be tablet family. It's because that's what brings him peace. Huh, buddy? Are you happy?
Yes.
Yes. Does Connor like to spin? Okay, Mommy's eggs are done. But now Mommy has to wait for the stove to cool, huh? We gotta be careful. Okay, can you say bye bye, see you later.
Wait.
Bye, see you later.
Wait.
Connor's turning the phone back on. That's another thing he likes to do is record, voice record, video record, pictures. He likes to put background music, and he'll record the background music from like Disney shows and stuff like that, huh? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What are you saying? Oh my goodness. Are you okay? Are you okay? It's okay. It's okay. when Connor gets hurt, he'll require, even if it's just like a little bump like that, something like that would have easily, if we were out and about or something, we would need to get a Band-Aid out because he thinks that the Band-Aids cure everything. So like emotionally. So we're lucky that didn't require a Band-Aid. So we must travel with Band-Aids everywhere. Because you never know when he's going to run into anything, bump into anything, and then he wants one. And you'll have to leave a store and leave your stuff behind because he needs a Band-Aid and he won't stop screaming or crying because... Are you saying Cutler? Cutler's at school.
Oh, I'm picking.
Okay. Can we be done with Mom's phone? Mom's gonna eat now. I deleted Snapchat because that had so many fun filters. I would never get my phone back. No, thank you. Let's eat. I'm on break. I just ran downstairs to get some more hangers. I'm doing laundry. A lot of the times I try to keep Connor away from me when I'm doing laundry or try to do it when he's at school because he'll like want to jump on the bed or mess up the piles because it's fun to throw the laundry. But not fun for me because I don't even like doing laundry. But I just did one of my 15-minute checks and I opened the door and he was in his room and it was like he was waiting for me because I walked into the room and he was like, red soda, please, red soda. And like, so maybe his throat was hurting or something, but like he was able to say that he needed a drink, which he didn't used to be able to do that. One of the things that when we first started speech and occupational therapist that they told us to do, which is why this is like torture, is like he always has been a good drinker because he's a bad eater. So he would drink to fill his stomach so that when he had hunger, like it gave him comfort because his belly felt more full when he drank. So he's always drank a ton. And they wanted us to get him to ask for his sippy, like more sippy, please, or something, more sippy, at least say more sippy. And he would bring it to us and then we would wait and we would say more sippy. Does Connor need more sippy? Connor say more sippy. And they like told us just set it back down until he says it. And that was like torture. And we would usually like, you would get so close to giving in and just getting it for him. And then finally you'd hear like the smallest little voice, sippy. And then I would be like, yeah. And then I'd get him a sippy. So it is cool to see that he has come so far, but still our struggles are real and they're real difficult, like just asking for food or water. What did I want to come on here and say though? I wanted to say something specific. Drink, laundry. I don't remember. Like, come on. My brain. Probably because I'm not sleeping. Oh, I just had to reschedule. I have a client that's supposed to be doing an appointment at 10 tomorrow. I'll probably have to keep Connor home again because his rash is super flared, even though he's not contagious. Like, I'll probably have to keep him home. Oh, that's what I was going to say. See, here's my train of thought. Work with me here, people. I'm an autism mama, and I think I got autism myself. So for the last like 6 months, I have a 5-year-old and he is not autistic. And he is very helpful and not helpful to his brother. Because what are one of the things that is really good to help autistic people is for them to work through their triggers, and his brother is such a big trigger. He's 5, almost 6, and one of the things that, I don't know if this is for all autism, but for Connor's autism, his imagination took a really, really long time. Like, he would line up toys and stare at toys, right? Or he'd spin a lot, but like he would just hyperfixate on toys, but he's not really playing with them. He's just, it's like very focused, you know what I mean? And it took him a really long time to have an imagination with toys. And I would say in the last 6 months, he's kind of stepped out and is more imaginative with his play. Like, you wouldn't see him like trying to get the toys to play with each other, you know what I mean? It was more like mathematical playing. He does like math. And because he started to develop more of his imagination, he started to have like a lot more panicking at bedtime. So we asked Cutler if Cutler would, that's his younger brother, would sleep with him and see if that would help, because we needed anything. We needed help, okay? We needed help. We couldn't get him to lay in his own bed anymore, and he would just knock on the door, and the sweetest little voice, Mommy's room, Mommy's room. And he's 8 years old. Like, Troy has autoimmune issues. I have autoimmune issues. We have a lot of pain, and like sharing a bed with kids is just not, it does not go, it does not. We need our sleep. That's how we survive. And so because his imagination has started to develop, which you wouldn't think that that is something slow in autism, but it is slow, and it's caused him to have a lot of more anxiety at bedtime, and he was more scared. But now him and his brother sleep together in the same bed. He has a loft bed, and it's large, so Cutler sleeps on one side, Connor sleeps on the other. And if we try to put him to bed now without Cutler, he will he'll ask for Cutler. Cutler, bed, Cutler, bed, Cutler, bed, and he'll just keep saying it over and over till Cutler comes to bed. Cutler usually will come home from school and he'll be like, I'm sleeping in my own bed tonight. Or like if Connor, you'll see when Cutler gets home how much more chaotic my background is, because Cutler triggers Connor so bad. But Connor has asked all day for Cutler. He's asked all day for him. But he can't. Cutler will say, I'm gonna sleep in my own bed. But then it goes to bedtime and Cutler is going into the bedroom. So they love each other for now. And eventually Cutler will be able to be a voice for Connor. Or that's another crappy part about being an autistic parent, is the children you have in the home that aren't disabled get shafted. Sorry, they just do. One lady was talking about how they're called glass children or something, and it's just they don't feel special, and they don't feel as loved, because you're pouring so much into that other child's life that it makes it really difficult for them to see the fairness in it. So that's been a really hard balance for us, and trying to explain things to him. And we, because of the recent events, we did talk to him about if like we ever got in an accident, or if there was ever a policeman, like you have to let them know that Connor has autism and Connor cannot talk for himself. Like Connor has a hard time talking, and so like we'll say, what do you say in an emergency? And he'll say, Connor has autism. And so that's a really sad topic to have with your 6-year-old. But it's one we have to have. We also have stickers on our vehicle. A lot of people, when the stickers first came out that said autistic kid on board, were like, don't advertise that because of pedophiles and all the crazy people out there. And like, as much as I would like not to advertise that, if my car is flipped over and my child is in need, I want that sticker on my car. Like, I want that sticker on my car more than I worry about it putting a target on me. Does that make sense? It's still, I would rather not have it, but this is why we have to be vocal in our community and letting people know. And I know it's really hard to like, you don't want to identify your child as autism. But that is one of the first things that you have to say, I'm sorry, is one of the things that you have to be the most vocal about, because people don't understand it and people don't recognize it. And clearly people are very judgmental and not open to it unless they have a family member or a friend or something that has it. So we have to constantly be advocating and sharing with others the struggles that we go through that other people don't even realize. Like, I bet you never thought about, like, I can't leave the kitchen when I'm cooking because it's a hazard for my child. Like, I can't leave a thing of tea sitting there at all, and my child's 8 years old. I cannot leave a tea sitting there because he could spill it and burn himself. He would not know any better. I cannot leave the oven on. I cannot leave a crock pot or an air fryer. Like, I cannot leave any of that stuff, any of the hazards. I have to have locks on everything, and I still have to constantly check him every 15 minutes to make sure that he's still home, that he's not choking, that he's not getting into anything that he shouldn't get into. I have chimes on everything. There's so many things that I constantly do that I don't even think about because it's what I have to do to survive, and it's what I have to do to keep him safe. And I don't know, it's just interesting to talk about it in this kind of way, to just kind of show you my struggles of the day. So it should get more interesting once Cutler is home, because his brother drives him crazy. But it is also nice because they kind of play a little bit together, a little bit. They sit by each other a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, but the imagination has gotten better, and it has given him more anxiety, so he's developing more imagination, which we're proud of and excited for, his cute little imagination play. But now it's gave us another hurdle. Like the constant anxiety of what's the next hurdle? What's the next thing that we're going to struggle with? Like, what happens when he needs dental care? Oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about this, but last Friday he had, he likes to throw bark up at school because he doesn't have friends. So he just walks around the playground by himself at recess, and he likes to throw the bark up and watch the bark fall. And he got a piece of it in his eye, or dirt in his eye or whatnot, so they called me and I had to rush over there. We called his eye doctor, and his eye doctor didn't want to take the emergency, so then we had to call up this other emergency eye doctor place, and we ran there with Connor. Connor's inconsolable. They have like a band-aid on it, but a band-aid's not staying on it because he wants to keep the eye closed because band-aids fix everything. And so we take him in there. He's screaming. There was a lot of old people in that office, and they were, bless them, because they just looked at me with kindness and love, and that's all I needed. Like, my kid's screaming. He has something in his eye. He's very upset. We got back there. He was more calm. They fit us in, which was really nice. The doctor absolutely did not want to force anything with Connor. I don't know. Sometimes it's easier when doctors aren't so worried about being sued because he's autistic and he's not going to consent. But he refused to push Connor at all. So he just tried to look as best as he could. We had a mirror for Connor to kind of look at so that he could try to look at him. He looked as best as he was going to look, and then just prescribed us some antibiotic eye drops that covered a bunch of things so nothing could grow in his eye. And if it got redder or whatnot, he just nonchalantly was like, yes, if anything gets worse or you notice any redness or swelling, just bring him right back in and we'll put him under anesthesia. Like, oh my God. So, like, if my child has something in his eye, he has to be put under. Like, anesthesia is scary. Or, like, what happens when he needs more dental work? He's gonna have to be put under. Like, these are things that are constantly in the back of my mind, stressing me out. But, yeah. Anyways, just another thought. So this is the end to the blog day of life in the mom. Life in the mom? a day in the life of a mom with a child with autism. And it was a busy afternoon. Troy was outside a lot. Connor went outside for a little bit, and then we brought him back in. I did have a class that I was going to at 6:30 for breath work, and so Troy was watching the kids, and he said that they did not have a great time. I got back at like, I don't know what time it is, 30 minutes ago. It's like, I got back at like, I don't know, 8:40 maybe. I don't know what time, okay? I feel like someone is gonna be like, lie. You're not gonna call me out. You don't actually know. But I walked in the door and Cutler hugged me and cried and said he missed me, and then Connor was puking. So the life is still lifing, and now I'm stressed out because he's got that rash that's on his cheeks but now spread to his arms. I think it's a virus, but he can't tell me things. So then your mom doubt creeps in. I know of a virus that causes these symptoms, but I don't really know that it causes him to throw up. But when Cutler gets sick, he fights it off. It's quick, it's done. When Connor gets sick, his immune system is not great, and he gets sicker. Like, he's always, you can't really send him to school. Like, Cutler recovers in a day to school. Connor, he'll be out all week. So now I don't know if tomorrow I'll take him to the urgent care just to make sure, maybe have them look in his ears and his throat and make sure that I'm not missing something. I don't feel like he has strep. But what if I'm missing something? What am I missing something? I'm paranoid. But anyways, my life, we're not going to be able to sleep in the bed with a puke bucket with Troy because Troy really needs to go to work because he's already had to use so many FMLAs in the last like week from Connor, his emergency eye thing, emergency like sickness, like it's too much. So I told Connor to come out here and sleep on the couch, and I've got him set up there with a puke bucket and tissues. He can't stand the feeling. Oh my gosh. The first time he puked, the terror, the absolute terror in his eyes, he's just barely gotten to the point where he kind of understands a puke bucket and that he's not going to die. He thought he was gonna die. Like, that's very traumatizing to see your kid thinking he's dying when he's just puking and sick. Yeah. Did today go pretty good? Today did go pretty good. All said and done. I'm gonna sleep on the other couch across from him and watch him. I'm gonna encourage fluids tomorrow. I'm gonna keep doing the mom thing. I canceled my Reiki for tomorrow, thank God. I was hesitant about doing so, but then I did it, and Connor will be staying home the rest of the week. His little body just needs rest. I don't know what else to do, but take him to an urgent care maybe. Anyways, you got to see some of my worries and stresses, and I rambled. If you have questions, feel free to ask. The whole reason I feel like I needed to do this was because somebody in our community, Pocatello, Idaho is where I live, and Victor Perez was shot and killed by Pocatello police, and he's an autistic child and 17 years old, and they only gave him like 20 seconds before they gunned him down, because he did have a knife. But if Connor picked up a knife, Connor wouldn't know to put down a knife. And if Connor saw a policeman, Connor would get excited and go towards policeman with a knife. And a lot of people in our community are justifying the acts of the police, and like they just have absolutely zero compassion for the autistic community or disabled community at all. And I don't know how many of these a day in the life of a mom with an autistic kid blogs I'll do, because I'm busy. But if I can spread awareness on all the little things that stress and worry me, and how much more I have to watch my child, and how much more it takes to make sure that he's okay every day, and then maybe people will have more compassion when they see a child in a store that's throwing a fit. I used to be one of those people, you know? When a child didn't have shoes on or a coat or stuff, I would be like, oh my God, what a horrible mom. You can't put shoes on, you can't put a jacket on your kid. What if that kid's had sensory issues? What if that kid took his shoes off 52,000 times and was having an overstimulation and just needed his shoes off? Like, who am I to judge what another parent's doing? I don't know their struggles. I don't know what's going on with their child. I could offer to help. If I see something, I can offer to help. Can I help? Is there any way I can help you and your child? And then they would probably say something like, oh, my child's autistic, or oh, they just really don't want to wear their shoes. Okay, that's fine. Why are we adapting and putting so much pressure on parents and like children having to act a certain way? Children should be heard. They should be seen. They should be loved just the way they are. I can't even imagine. Like, it worries me so much. I can't even imagine what happens when Connor's older. Are people still going to be so ruthless and misunderstanding? I don't know. I hope not. I hope that justice is served for Victor and his family. And I hope that nothing like that ever happens again. Yeah, being a mom to an autistic child is hard. It's very hard. But I love him, and he has such the brightest light. You just got to see glimpses of him in these videos, and you know that he is just an angel. They light up a room. Their understanding of the world is incredible. Like, maybe they don't understand the things that you and I understand, but like, they see beyond the veil. They see the beauty in everything and everyone. So, yeah. Anyways, it's been a long day. I'm gonna go sleep while I can sleep. And I hope you enjoyed my video. Maybe I'll make more. Maybe I won't. I probably will. I was trying to keep him off video, but you saw how that went. He likes the video.